wanted tonight just to maybe touch base on what our office does. And then I also want to talk to you about something that's very near and dear to my heart that you may have heard about, the Medal of Honor Heritage Center that we put together in Chattanooga that's going to be opening. And then I might close out with just where I think GOP is right now. But most of you, if you own a property in Hampton County back in October, you got your tax bill. And a lot of this may just be 101 for most of you. I just want to kind of tell you what we do. The assessor of property, that office comes out to your home or this business and they appraise it. If they come to this business, they're appraising two things. One is the building, the land, and then also the personalty tax. They're coming in here and looking at how many tables, how many chairs you got, the equipment, and there's a small tax on that, and our office collects that too. But the assessor's office comes out and does the appraising. The commission sets the tax rate. They tell us what that is, and then my office sends the tax bills out. And that's what we're mostly known for, is property tax. We send the bill out in October for that year, which would be starting going back a few months to January the 1st. You pay the taxes in the arrears, I'll call it. So the bill goes out in October, and you have to the end of February to pay it. When I went in office, you either had all the money to pay your tax bill or you couldn't pay it. If your tax bill was $1,000 and you went down there with $999, you couldn't pay nothing. So I'm going to kind of talk about then and now, I guess. So now what we have done, if you come in and you want to you get your tax bill in October, you come in and you want to make a partial payment, you pay whatever you want to. We take your money. We've also got it set up now to where we do HCH bank drafts. If you want to start paying, it's 2020 now, come March of this year. If you don't want to wait till you get your tax bill and you don't want to wait till next Christmas to have to come up with the money, we got a form you can fill out. We get your bank information, and we will just draw it out of your checking account of the bank each month, and we do everything in between that. So we do any kind of payments that you want to make. We take cash, checks, credit cards. If you pay with a credit card over the phone, it's like 2.39% interest. When I went in office, it was like 2.79. So we've done some negotiation, and nobody likes to pay that, but we do have to pass that along to the taxpayer to pay that. One thing that's popular is paying with a debit card. Come into the office. Chris, I'm going to get back here where I'll be still. You can come into the office and pay with a debit card just there in the office, and it's just a flat $2. So the tax bill goes out. You've got until February to pay it. If you don't pay your tax bill come March, there's an interest started added to that. Each month there's an interest of 1.5% added to your bill. A year goes by, you haven't paid your bill, interest is put on it for that year. Another year goes by, you've had another year's interest on it, and then this is what we hate to see, and we send letters out to let people know. 2 years behind, it's fixing to be sent up to the courts, clerk and master's office, and when that bill hits their door, they add $200 to it. Today I spoke to a lady that she had her 18 bill, and for some reason, I guess, I'm assuming that she paid it a little bit late, she owed $5.53 on her 18 bill. I said, ma'am, you got to pay that, because in March when that goes up to the clerk and master, you're going to owe $205. So it stays in our office for 2 years, then it goes to the clerk and master's office and stays 2 years. After it's in their office for 2 years, now you're 4 years behind. Now it gets real serious. We sell the property. And the tax sale, selling a piece of property, it's a sad thing to do. Right now we've got people that owe their 16 taxes. There's about 1,200 pieces of property that the 16s have not been paid. We're sending letters out. If we don't get in touch with the people, the Sheriff's Department is putting notices on their door. We're doing a mail out. The phones are ringing off the hook right now because we've just had 2 mail outs, one for the tax sale and then for the ones that still owe their 18s. We've had a mail out on that. So we're very busy right now answering the phone and people coming in taking care of that. If someone owes their 16 taxes, and we're going to sell the property in June, until about March the 20th, they can come and pay the 16s only. After March the 20th, they have to pay 16, 17, 18s, 19s. They have to pay all years. So what people are doing right now, they're hustling, trying to get the money up to pay their 16 property taxes. When I went in office in 2010, the tax levy, if everybody paid their taxes and the whole amount, was $233 million. This year, the bills that we just sent out for 19, if everybody pays their taxes, it's $308 million. So that's how much the levy is for Hamilton County for all the property, including that personalty tax on the business, including the real property, that's commercial and everything. So we went from $233 million in 2010 up to $308 million for 19. When I went in office, we had 13 people working in there, and they had an outside attorney, a contract attorney that they was paying 10% to for delinquent taxes and handling bankruptcy. Today we still have 13 people, but I made a change and I brought a full-time attorney in. The contract attorney in 2010 was costing about $200,000 a year. I brought a guy in and we're basically paying our full-time attorney that's there every day. We're paying him about $100,000, and he earns every bit of it because he's constantly sending letters out, having to do title searches. It's a major job in collecting. People think, just as I did years ago, well, the trustee's office, you just collect taxes, that's about it. Just collecting the taxes is the easy part of our job. Sending those letters out, handling the tax sale. Our tax sale last year was the first year that we put it online, the properties that's going to be sold. I mentioned we've got 1,200 to 1,500 people that's not paid their 16s right now. When it comes the first week of June and we have the tax sale online, we'll have about 300 pieces of property. So most of them will sell. Those 300 pieces of property, we was selling about 40% of them. When we went online, we're selling about 60% of the property now. The other 40% of the property is just pretty much holding the earth together. It's just people don't want it. It's not real good, and that's probably the reason they quit paying taxes on it. Our office also, we collect the motel hotel tax. If someone comes to Chattanooga and stays in one of the 150 motels we got, they pay 4% county motel hotel tax in addition to sales tax. My office collects that. If it's inside the city limits of Chattanooga, there's also another 4% there for the city of Chattanooga, which we collect. And we also collect the Airbnb tax. We had about 75 to 100 Airbnbs a little over a year ago that was paying property tax, paying their motel hotel tax, and we felt like there was more than that. So we contacted Airbnb and we said, are there any way that I had this idea. I said, you're dealing with the people, why don't you just collect our tax for us and then send it to us? And at first they said, no, we cannot do that. And after about 6 months, we worked something out with them, and they're now collecting our tax. We went from getting Airbnb tax on 75 to 100 to 600. There's 600 houses or places in Chattanooga that rent out rooms, and that brought our amount up to, this last year we collected $7.6 million on motel hotels. So it's a great thing that comes in, and the way it's set up right now, all that money pretty much goes to the convention center, and they turn around and use that money to advertise all over the United States, come to Chattanooga. So that's handled through a different department. We just collect that money. So we collect the property tax, the motel hotel tax. The attorney, as I mentioned, we brought in full-time, James Davey. He was one of the top guys. I think he was number 2 in his class in Knoxville, and I heard about him and I brought him in. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and he knows what he's doing and sending these letters out and collecting these back taxes. And it's sad to have to sell the homes of people, and we hear some awful sad stories. And I told somebody recently, I said, when I was in business, you know, somebody go bankrupt on you, that's terrible. I hated that word, bankruptcy. But I'll have to say, sometimes, and I know of one time particularly, I had a little lady, I think she was about 80 years old, and she told me she was about to lose her house. She was 4 years behind on taxes. She had doctor bills, she had medicine, and I listened to her on the phone for about 15 minutes and crying, and I said, ma'am, I don't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do. You need to go file bankruptcy. And that's one way that people can get out of losing their home, is file bankruptcy, keeping in mind they cannot file bankruptcy and not pay their taxes. They have to pay it back, and it's just stretching it out over 5 years. I go down a lot of times on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I represent the county at creditors meetings. Very interesting meetings to go to. I don't know if any of you have ever had anybody go bankrupt on you, and you go down to the creditors meetings, and it was very interesting when Mr. Kenneth Steele was there. I know Bobby, I think, knew Kenneth Steele, but he didn't pull no slack. He just told them where it was. He said, hey, your county property tax, you've got to pay it. We'll stretch it out for you over 5 years, and you can pay your taxes. Another thing that he used to get on to him about was student loans. He said, these student loans that you owe, you cannot get out of them. He said, there's 2 ways you can get out of student loans. One is pay it, and the other one is to die. That's what he'd tell them. So that's just about the way it was. But he was interesting to talk to. Kind of some of the things that we've done in our office, I think back to 2010, I told you about we brought a full-time attorney in. We do not have to go to the bank anymore. Basically, we have, if you come in and pay us with a check that afternoon, one of the ladies scans the check. We've got it set up to where we've got a lot of cross-checking. If I've taken your check down there, which I don't take checks, but the ladies on the counter, if one of them takes your check, they're not the one that scans your check. Somebody else has to do that. We're checking each other every way we can. So if you pay with a check, we scan those checks every afternoon, and it hits our bank account that afternoon. If you come in and pay us with cash, and I'm amazed the people that pay property tax with cash money, you come in and pay us with cash money, $1,000. We got a machine that's called Safe Point. The ladies take it back there and lay the money on it. It pulls it in. It checks it 14 different ways to see if it's counterfeit. As soon as it goes through that machine, it drops down in the bottom, and it's not our money no more. It's First Tennessee's money. And when it drops in the bottom, it hits our bank account. So we're getting credit for it automatically, and they come by twice a week and pick that money up. If somebody pays us with coins, we do have to go to the bank and take coins. We can keep money for 3 days. So basically about twice a week, if we get paid with coins, I normally go and take the money to the bank. Some of you may have heard this. It's kind of a funny little story. One day we had 76 cents to put in the bank, and we normally go to one of the downtown branches, but me and a couple of people in the office went out to East Ridge to Epicurean Restaurant to eat, and they said, don't forget, we got to go to the bank. And one of them said, well, there's a First Tennessee right down here. So we pulled around to the back, and I pulled right up to the window, gave that lady that 76 cents, and when I did, I said, ma'am, can you check our balance? Our balance in that particular account was $87 million. So she kind of came back like I was pulling her leg, but we had a little life with that. But so we have to take coins to the bank, but we do not have to take. So that's one of the things that we've changed is getting that money to hit our bank quicker and making it a lot safer. Some of the other things that we've done in the office, taking partial payments, which has got very, very popular in that. But that's basically how our office works. We're the Bank of the County. About $1.6 billion comes in and out through our office some way. I'm assigning bills every day. It's okay to go ahead and pay this. So we're the Bank of the County, really. Our motel hotel thing, by working that out with Airbnbs, we have other offices throughout the state that's talking to us right now. They're wanting to do the same thing. Our bankruptcy, we've been kind of the leader in that. Other trustees across the state have came in and actually done some training with our people on how we're doing that. So that's the trustee's office, and if you have any questions about that in a little bit, we'll we'll go ahead. We'll do that now.
Well, I was going to ask you about the senior citizen tax forgiveness.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I am so glad that you brought that up. We have the Senior Citizens Tax Relief Program, which started by the state back in 1970 something, let's say 1980. Hamilton County participates in that, and if someone makes less than $30,000 a year, they're over 65 years old, they can get, in most cases, close to $200 back from the state. And thank goodness the commission, they have gone along with that, and Hamilton County matches half of that. So we have a lot of people that, the elderly, they may have a tax bill of $500 and they're getting half of it or more paid. If a person is 100% disabled veteran and it happened in service, they pretty much get all their bill paid. They don't have to pay any taxes. That's for the veterans that's 100% disabled and it happened while they were in service. That's got to be a very popular program. We have got about 3,800 homes in Chattanooga that's on that program. 65 and older, making less than $30,000 a year. They do have to be caught up on their taxes. They have to have pretty much everything paid, and then they can get on the program. The first year that they're on the program, they pay their whole tax amount. If it's $700, they pay $700. We send that paperwork to Nashville. They send a couple of $100 back to the homeowner. We send it through the finance department of Hamilton County, and about $100 gets sent back to the homeowner. And that's the first year. Then the second year, you just have to pay what the difference is. There you only have to pay, say, $400 of your $700 from then on out. They do have to sign up for it every year. But thanks, Dean, for mentioning that. Does anybody else have any questions about our office before I go to anything else? Yes, sir.
Before you reach that agreement with Airbnb, how do you all go about collecting that?
We would get with the county clerk's office where they had to get their business license. We would find out they got business license, and we would contact them and send them a package of here what you have to do. In their slow time, we had anybody that had time that was looking on the internet, Chattanooga, Tennessee Airbnbs, and was trying to find them, and we did find a lot that way. But that's how that was pretty much our way of finding people before then.
And then the second question would be, so there's been since you came into office, there's been around $100 million increase in revenue brought in by your office. How much of that would be has part of that been a better rate of people paying those taxes, or has the rate of people paying stayed constant while just property values have increased?
Well, it's property values increase, and then more homes being built. You have more homes being built. I mean, Hamilton County is a hot spot right now for building homes and selling homes. But you're exactly right. It's more homes being built, and maybe every 4 years there's a evaluation of property tax, and if it goes up, then that helps some, but not really all that much, because the way the law is set up, we can't really go up on taxes due to a reappraisal. Yes, sir.
It's not a question, it's rather an ominous observation that there is a third way to get out of student debt. We can elect a wisdom board.
Let's don't go there. Let's just die. Well, so that's pretty much our office. Let me say, please, if we can ever help you in any way, that's what we're there for. We love to help people, and we can get you whatever information you might need. Something else that I want to talk to you folks about, and I should have went and got more of these, but Alan's been helping us on a volunteer board some. But about 2.5 years ago, a group of people got together and wanted to build here in Chattanooga a Medal of Honor Heritage Center. And they looked at Coolidge Park and other places and finally settled on about 20,000 square feet on the top floor of Puckett's next to the aquarium. That's where we decided to put it. We needed to raise $7 million. And I'm proud to be here tonight to tell you that we have raised the $7 million. And February the 22nd of February, on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we're going to open it. We have got the governor coming here. President Trump has got an invitation in his pocket. We're expecting 2,000 to 3,000 people to be down there. They're going to close off the streets in part of Chattanooga around the aquarium. I told them on yesterday on This and That on TV that it's probably the bigger thing than it was when the Chattanooga Choo-Choo opened years ago. When you walk in, you're not going into a museum looking at helmets or guns or whatever. You're walking in and you're seeing the big wall that Desmond Doss got those 75 people off of. You've got a rope hanging down that kids come in and are going to learn how to tie that Bowen knot that he tied to lower those 75 people down. You're going to have a display in there showing a lot of different battles. You're going to have an area that's showing Ooltewah-Ringo Road down here where the general was stopped with the Andrews Raiders, who were the first Medal of Honor, first ones to receive the Medal of Honor. But it is something to see. Alan's seen part of it. Right now it's probably 90% finished. It will be finished in February the 22nd. And we have raised the money. We now are working on money that we're needing to keep everything going in addition to ticket sales. And if you want to do this, I've got some here I'll leave, and if you don't, you can go on the website. But about the only thing left that we have to do is you can buy a brick, and out in front of the Medal of Honor Heritage Center, you can buy 3 different size bricks I think they're anywhere from $100 up to $5,000, depending on what size brick you want to buy. But that's something that's going to be very good. Udawald High School chorus is going to be there singing for us. A lot of the service people are going to be there. There's 72 Medal of Honor recipients in the United States that's still living. 20 of those 72 have already signed up to be here. We're going to have 25 of the Medal of Honor itself, the what do you call that? The Medal of Honor. We're going to have 25 of them here. Some of those have got insurance on them, $1.6 million insured on those things. So it's going to be something. It's a hidden secret, I think, that a lot of people don't realize what we've done, and it's going to be exciting to see people come in that 20,000 square foot Medal of Honor. I like to call it a learning center. Part of what we're doing also, and they've already been doing that for the last couple of years, going into rec centers, going into schools, and teaching the traits of life. Some of those things that some of these Medal of Honor people have earned, and they teach these kids, and some of the stories that we've got coming out of that has just been fantastic. Share one of those stories with you. They was downtown, Alton Park, I think it was. After school, they was working with these kids, and about the second or third week they were there, one little boy came up and told the teacher, said, I'm going to take that bicycle that I stole back where I got it. Said, I'm going to take that bicycle back from where I stole it. So they're teaching these kids some things that they don't hear in school, and they definitely don't hear at home. So that's about Medal of Honor. Alan asked me to say a little something about Hamilton County GOP. I've thought long and hard what to say, and about the only thing, me and Bobby Woods talked about this some, and it's been a thing that's been talked about for years, and I would encourage each and every one of y'all to do anything you can to help with this. I think that what we need to do is to get with the state of Tennessee, shut down 153 Chickamauga Dam, and we need to have a GOP meeting on Chickamauga Dam. I can tell you a lot of things, but that's what it boils down to. Their side, our side, their side, east, west, and I guess the only other way I could say this, and I thought about this during the championship ball game. Coach Ed, I forget his name, I'm not an LSU fan, but I like the coach. Coach said in his deep voice, he said, after they won, one team, one heartbeat. Think about it. If we could meet on Chickamauga Dam, get united, have peace, have one team, and have everybody with one heartbeat, we can win some elections in Hamilton County. And we have got to do that. The Democrats are coming on strong. They're wanting to get seats. We've seen some things happen in the past, but I think that's what we need to do. We cannot be fighting among ourselves. We've got to be joined together. And as old Forrest Gump says, that's about all I want to say about that. But I've enjoyed being here tonight. Please come down. You can go online and buy you a ticket for May the 22nd to tour the Medal of Honor Heritage Center. Buy a brick if you'd like to for your family to put out front there. And if you ever need anything from the trustees office, we have our office where I'm at most of the time is downtown in the courthouse. We have our office over at Bonnie Oaks Drive, and then you can pay your taxes at about 20 First Tennessee banks here in Hamilton County. So you can pay your taxes at First Tennessee Bank or either one of our locations, and we take partial payments and credit cards about any way you want to pay us. Any other questions from anyone? Yes, sir, John. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Chester.
Can you fill my lifetime
I think they've sold them all. They have sold all the lifetime memberships for that. They may open that back up sometime, but right now I think they've sold them all. Yes, sir, John.
Did you tell us about the third Sunday?
Third Sunday over in Appleton. John comes about every month, but over in Appleton, where Linda and I live, we've got a kind of a multi-purpose building over there, and I'm just an old baby boomer that loves old-fashioned redback hymn, gospel singing, I'll Fly Away, Victory in Jesus, and those type songs, and you don't hear it nowhere anymore. So we we'd have a singing about every 2 or 3 times a year. We'd have a singing, no certain time. We might have a singing in April, and we may have another singing in November, and it was hard to get the word out when we was having it. So I said, we're going to start having a redback hymn singing every Sunday, every month on the third Sunday. So the third Sunday of every month at 6 o'clock, we have a redback hymn singing. We sing out of the old redback hymnal, take turns with people coming up and leading the music, different piano players, and then we may have a special group to come and sing to close us out. We had the Chuck Wagon Gang a couple of months ago, and we tell people when they come, we're not interested in hearing songs that you've wrote. We're not interested in hearing any contemporary songs. If you want to sing something out of the old redback hymn, you're welcome to do it. And it's gone over, and we'll have 150 to 200 people there.
One other announcement too, February the 9th, 10:30, if you want to hear some of that, and hear Bill talk about another great organization called the Crossroads Baptist.
Yeah, we'll be at Crossroads Baptist on that Sunday morning, and I always enjoy going to Crossroads because that's one of the places you can still hear some of that good Southern gospel music. Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.